Welcome to Create, Build, Manage, the Entrepreneur's Toolbox.
Welcome to Create, Build, Manage on Biz TV. I'm Kelli Phillips. Mary Ann Bautista is with me today to talk about the importance of businesses prioritizing YouTube in their marketing strategies. Stick around. We'll be back with more Create, Build, Manage. In today's digital age, businesses have a myriad of advertising platforms at their fingertips, and one stands out for its vast potential, maybe one that you're not really thinking of: YouTube. Our next guest is an advocate for leveraging this platform to maximize reach and engagement. Please welcome Mary Ann Bautista. And Mary Ann, tell us why businesses should really prioritize and use YouTube in their marketing strategies.
Oh my goodness. Well, number one, it's huge. So everyone, literally every demographic is on YouTube. And as a matter of fact, in the United States and Canada, it's about 277 million active users. And worldwide, the number is really crazy. About 2.5 billion people are on YouTube. So your lead, your
that's not
target,
something that
your customer,
many people
your
think
friends
of.
are there.
Yeah, most people don't think of YouTube, though. They think of the standard, radio, television, and I guess newspaper sometimes. Is that even still
Facebook.
around? But Facebook. But YouTube has really come on strong. Do you have to have a presence of video with YouTube? I mean, a lot of businesses aren't thinking, oh, I need some sort of video. What do I put on YouTube?
Yes, you do need video. It is a video distribution platform. So you absolutely have to have video content. But in the age of the iPhone, everybody has the ability to create short quality videos that can be used for your business. So it's relatively simple to get started with that.
But a lot of people are probably thinking, what do I do with this?
Yep.
What advice can you give them?
So remove the fear to start with. It's not as complicated or difficult as you think. The way our business works is that we reverse engineer the entire process. We like to start with an audit, and that audit tells us exactly who is looking for your solution as a business, how many searches are happening daily, and there are usually hundreds of thousands of searches for normal businesses. And then we go in and look at a very detailed level at the keywords. So we reverse engineer the entire process and come out with a recommendation for a content calendar that really helps businesses to get started in YouTube. Although many businesses are already producing and uploading content to YouTube, the most typical thing that we see is that they are so poorly optimized that the algorithm cannot find them, does not know who they are trying to speak to, does not know how to serve their content in search and in the recommendation algorithm.
So how do you help people do that? Because that's a lot to take in.
Well, we do the heavy lifting. We pull together all of the research and do the audit. And we give this list of content to our clients. And in many cases, they actually have video content that just needs to be edited or in some way reworked, because most businesses are already on other socials that require or prefer video content. So oftentimes it's already there. And if it's not already there, it's not complicated to get it internally. Usually there's some kind of a marketing team that might have someone on their staff who would have this capability. Trust me, the younger generations are extremely comfortable with this format. And if that is not the case, we can help with that. We can absolutely help with that. There is a myriad of different ways and different styles and different formats of video that are all appropriate and not that difficult or expensive to get.
So talk a little bit about all of the different social media platforms that are out there and what makes YouTube so different.
I think what makes YouTube really different is that it really serves a variety of different masters. Okay. It is the number 2 search engine in the world. The number 2 place that people go in number 2 behind Google. And you all probably know that Google owns YouTube. So when you think about that, that's really impressive. So that is probably the number one thing. It is the number 2 search engine. So if your potential customers, leads are searching within YouTube and they can't find you, that means they're going to your better optimized competitor. So that is probably the number one thing. I would say it is the second largest trafficked website in the world, and it is absolutely a social media. There is tons of engagement that happens on YouTube.
Mary Ann, can you break down some of the demographics when it comes to YouTube audience?
Of course. Everyone is on YouTube. The number 1 and number 2 cohorts are the millennials and the Gen Zers, and they represent around 50% of all the users. But all the other demographic segments are very, very well represented. So, and as a matter of fact, the fastest growing segment is the 55 plus. So you have, I actually have a document that has the most recent updated information, and it is about 16% for 45-54, 23% for 35-44, and 28% for 25-34.
Wow. And that's exactly what businesses are targeting. I mean, that sounds like their target audience, and the 55 plus for that number to increase.
Yep. That one is increasing. And I believe personally that it's because of COVID. I think that people were stuck in their homes. They were watching more television. They discovered that they can watch YouTube on their big screen, and they went in droves. I can tell you, I did it. I fantasized more vacations because of YouTube. It was really fun. I watched tons of beautiful places and people experiencing wonderful things, putting them on my bucket list and thinking, oh, I'm going to go to Taiwan and the Philippines and wherever else that South America.
What I'm guilty of is going to YouTube for the how-to videos. How do I do this? How do I do that? And that's where some of these businesses can really take advantage of boosting their audience. Yes.
So when we do our audit and our research, we take a look at, of course, the branded keywords to make sure that, you're receiving those searches, but additionally, the myriad of all the unbranded keywords and searches that are happening that relate to your category, relate to the solution that you offer as a business, so that we're making sure to capture as many of those as we possibly can.
So there's got to be some misconceptions about YouTube out there for businesses. How can businesses avoid some of the pitfalls of misconceptions?
I think the biggest misconception that it is easy to get your content seen. So create a little video, throw it up on YouTube, and then often you're very disappointed by not seeing tons and tons of views and subscribers joining your channel and engagement and conversation. And the reason is there really is both an art and a science blended to getting your content discovered. And it's frankly just an issue of the sheer volume. There's just tons and tons of volume on YouTube. But additionally, it is the optimization and making sure that you have done all the right things to make sure that that algorithm knows who you are, what you do, who you're trying to speak to, so that it can show your content in search, rank your content in search for the appropriate keywords. But also, many people don't realize there is a recommendation element to YouTube's algorithm as well. It will serve
Mary
your
Ann,
content
so much
to
more
similar people that are looking at your content. So that's a wonderful, that's very coveted.
There's so much more that we need to talk about. And if you don't mind, will you stick around and we'll come back and talk more YouTube marketing strategy?
Happy to.
Back with Mary Ann Bautista to talk more about YouTube marketing strategies. And Mary Ann, if you could describe how businesses can measure their success. You talked a little bit about how there's algorithms and keywords, because sometimes people put stuff out on YouTube, but they don't get the success and they wonder why.
That's right. So number one, we have to educate the algorithm about who your business is, what your business is. And it takes sort of a foundational build. You need that good structure. And then you're looking at views growing, subscribers joining you, more engagement, increasing in ranking. And I think really, those are sort of the key ones, but there's a bunch of sort of next level metrics that we look at, like average view duration, things like that really help us to know how to continue the strategy for a given client to grow. And then, of course, ultimately, at the end of the day, you're looking for leads and you're looking for sales. And those things also do happen within the YouTube environment. We have 8 unique tactics that we use, and they are both in the channel as well as in the video content, and things that we can do on the tail end of your video to make them more responsive, so that people have an opportunity to connect with you, become a lead, go to your website or your lander. There's ways to make that happen.
So, Mary Ann, I've got to ask, I mean, there are some businesses out there that are thinking, YouTube, it's yet another advertising platform. How am I going to pay for this? Is there somebody in-house that just gets the science of it? Is it that easy, or do you really need to be with someone that gets the algorithms, the keywords, and the science behind posting?
I think in larger businesses, those people do exist, and you can hire YouTube strategists, YouTube analysts. More of the sort of smaller to medium-sized businesses need the help of someone like us. So we have really crack analysts on our team. They live and breathe YouTube. They understand how the algorithm works, and they understand how to marry the metrics and the data with sort of the artistry of it. So when we lay out a strategy for a client, ground level zero, just starting out at the beginning, we watch it for a couple of months. We put the strategy in place, we do all the right things, and then we watch it like a hawk. And honestly, we oftentimes, not course correct is a little bit of the wrong word, but basically we pivot based on what we're seeing. So we are constantly evaluating and redirecting our efforts in order to make sure that we are capitalizing on what the algorithm likes the best.
And what's interesting is, I think once businesses figure out that they're growing their audience, that their content is getting some traction, then they see those customers, which in turn turn into dollar signs, correct?
That's right. Well, and on the organic side, I'm not going to lie, it's a little more challenging. We then can layer in paid. Once you have a strong organic foundation and the algorithm really gets you and is doing everything it can to help and support you, then we can carefully, cautiously layer in paid advertising within YouTube that absolutely can help to support that growth and more of that direct lead, direct sale element.
So what are your tips for businesses that want to maintain consistency in uploading, but they may have limited resources for video production?
It's all about planning. So you can actually plan and execute. I shouldn't say plan and execute. You can actually execute a 1 day of video production that will last you an entire quarter. So we do the research up front. We know what the audit is telling us you should be focusing on. We'll make specific recommendations based on your capabilities for what kind of video content to produce, or we'll produce it for you. And then launch it and plan it all up front and take 1 day to do an entire quarter's worth of content that you can then just parse out. And what we do recommend is 1 long form and a minimum of 2 to 3 short forms every single week get produced and launched and published.
So explain the difference between the long form and the short form. I mean, obviously there's a time difference, but there's more to the science of why you should do long versus short.
Yes. Well, long is the legacy. It lives on the legacy YouTube channel, which is you can publish where your channel exists. You can publish any length you want. Frankly, people don't realize that. They can publish short content on their legacy account. Now, the shorts is relatively new. It is a completely separate algorithm. And just recently, they increased the duration allowed. So now you can go up to 3 minutes. It used to be just 1 minute until a few months ago. So you can go all the way up to 3 minutes. They really work separately, but they dovetail. So the way in which they work differently is that the shorts really explode your content out, and the reach is far and wide, can be far and wide. All right, completely different algorithm. But what it does do is it really helps to drive people to your channel and to your longer form content if it's planned correctly. So that is how they work together. And we absolutely believe you need to be doing both. Don't just do long form, don't just do shorts, do both and plan them out in advance so that you have the content that you need to be able to feed the algorithm in the way that it wants to be fed. We really believe in working with the algorithm and not against it.
So I've got to ask, can you repurpose the same video that you're using on your YouTube channel and, for example, use it on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok?
Oh my gosh. And if you're not doing that, that's a terrible misstep. We believe in a YouTube first, horizontal aspect ratio content to be shot in that way. And the reason is that horizontal is much easier to edit into the vertical aspect ratio, which many of the other social medias require. So when you plan your shoots, you simply make sure that, just like, I don't know if you can see on this video right here, there's lots of space on either side of me that can easily be edited in to a vertical ratio. So of course, you absolutely should repurpose your content, your video content in all the different places. And by the way, not just for social medias. Put it into your customer service emails. Put it on, embed on your website. YouTube loves it. Gives you extra bonus points when you embed a video onto your website from YouTube. Use it in your emails, your newsletters, use it in all the different places that you would consider to use it so you get the biggest bang for your buck out of that content.
So it sounds like you advise businesses on how to increase their role out there in YouTube, but also on all the various platforms. If folks are interested in finding out more about your business and how it works and how maybe they could connect with you or someone from your company, how do they do that?
Oh, well, we would love that. And I tell you, the best place to find me is on LinkedIn. That is where you will see a lot of content published almost on a daily basis about what we are doing with YouTube. And it's simply Mary Ann Bautista. The business is TurboTube, and you can find us at turbotube.co. Although, honestly, go to LinkedIn, hit me up, let's connect, and we'll start a conversation, and maybe we can give you some advice that would be helpful.
So I guess you've got some videos on LinkedIn as well, right?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. LinkedIn is
video everywhere.
For connecting with other business professionals. We love LinkedIn.
Mary Ann, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And hopefully more businesses will take the leap of faith and get rid of the fear and get on YouTube and enlist the help of your business. We really appreciate it today.
My pleasure. Thank you for the time.
Thanks for joining me today for Biz TV's Create, Build, Manage. Episodes of Create, Build, Manage are available on demand on the free Biz TV streaming app. Visit watch.biztv.com and get Biz TV programming anytime, anywhere. Stay tuned to Biz TV for more stories that educate, enlighten, and empower.